Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're like me, you're constantly bombarded with health advice. It's everywhere on social media, from well-meaning relatives, even in catchy headlines. Eat this, not that. Do this exercise for a longer life. Avoid this like the plague. It's a lot to take in, and honestly, it can get pretty confusing trying to figure out what's actually good for you and what's just, well, noise. We all want to live healthier, fuller lives, but navigating this sea of information can feel like a full-time job. And sometimes the loudest voices aren't always the most accurate. The truth is, not everything you hear about health is backed by solid science. Some facts are outdated, some are misinterpretations, and some are just plain wrong, passed down through generations until they become accepted as gospel. That's why today, we're going to put on our detective hats. I've gathered 5 widely believed health facts, things you've probably heard countless times and maybe even lived by. We're going to dive into each one, explore where it came from, and see what the science really says. But here's the twist. Among these 5 seemingly established health truths, one of them is completely, utterly false. A total fabrication, a medical myth masquerading as fact. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to listen carefully to the evidence for each and try to pinpoint the imposter. Think you can do it? Let me know in the comments which one you're already suspicious of. Let's get started and see if you can spot the fake. Alright, let's kick things off with a classic. You absolutely must drink 8 8-ounce glasses of water every single day. It's like the golden rule of hydration, right? Doctors say it, health gurus preach it, your fitness tracker probably even reminds you. But have you ever stopped to wonder where this specific recommendation actually came from? Is it a hard and fast medical directive, or more of a general guideline that got a bit too specific over time? The reality is, our hydration needs are incredibly individual. Think about it, does a 120-pound sedentary office worker need the same amount of water as a 200-pound construction worker laboring under the summer sun? Or an athlete training for a marathon? Of course not. Many of the foods we eat, especially fruits and vegetables like watermelon, cucumbers, oranges, and strawberries, have very high water content. So, while staying hydrated is crucial for overall health, the rigid 8 glasses a day rule isn't a scientifically mandated commandment for every single person. Next up, let's talk about a belief many of us were fed as children. Eat your carrots, they'll help you see in the dark. Or more generally, carrots give you amazing eyesight. Carrots are packed with beta-carotene, a type of carotenoid that our bodies convert into vitamin A. And vitamin A is absolutely essential for good vision. However, the idea that eating an abundance of carrots will grant you supersight or dramatically improve your vision beyond normal healthy levels, especially if you're not deficient in vitamin A, is where the story takes a fascinating historical detour. This particular myth gained massive traction during World War II. The British Royal Air Force was having remarkable success shooting down German bombers during nighttime raids. To conceal the real reason for their ace pilots' accuracy, their new secret radar technology, the Ministry of Information spread a story that their pilots had exceptional night vision because they ate a lot of carrots. Alright team, let's tackle a cold weather classic. Put a hat on, you lose most of your body heat through your head. The claim that a disproportionately large amount of heat, like nearly half, escapes through your head is quite dramatic. If it were true, then simply wearing a hat would be the single most effective way to stay warm in cold conditions, far outweighing the importance of a good coat or gloves. Your body loses heat from any surface that is exposed to a colder environment. The amount of heat lost is generally proportional to the surface area of that exposed part and the temperature difference. Your head accounts for roughly 7 to 9% of your body's total surface area. Therefore, under similar conditions of exposure, you'd expect to lose roughly 7 to 9% of your heat through your head if it's bare, and the rest of you is similarly exposed or covered. Let's move on to a habit that can make some people cringe and others feel a sense of relief: knuckle cracking. And almost as iconic as the sound itself is the immediate warning that often follows: stop doing that, you're going to get arthritis. The idea of damaging your joints and leading to a painful condition like arthritis just by cracking your knuckles is certainly a scary thought. But what does the actual medical research say about this supposed link? Well, surprisingly to some, multiple scientific studies have investigated whether habitual knuckle cracking leads to an increased risk of osteoarthritis in the hands, and the overwhelming consensus is that there's no good evidence to support this claim. One of the most famous and rather dedicated pieces of research was conducted by Dr. Donald Unger. For over 50 years he cracked the knuckles of his left hand at least twice a day, while never cracking the knuckles on his right hand, using it as a control. Our final health fact for today tackles a common dieting dilemma. Eating before bed makes you fat. The underlying idea is that food consumed late at night when you're less active and your metabolism supposedly slows down to a crawl is more likely to be stored as fat compared to food eaten earlier in the day. However, from a purely physiological standpoint, the concept that calories know what time it is an oversimplification. Your body's metabolism doesn't just switch off like a light when the clock strikes a certain hour. While there are circadian rhythms that influence metabolic processes, the primary driver of weight gain or loss is the overall energy balance, the total number of calories you consume versus the total number of calories you expend over a period of time. So why does this myth persist, and why do some studies show correlations between late-night eating and higher body weight? Well, it often has more to do with and people eat at night rather than the timing itself. In conclusion, while it's generally wise to avoid very large, heavy meals right before lying down for comfort and sleep quality, the idea that simply eating after a certain time automatically leads to fat storage is not quite accurate. Okay, we've dissected 5 very common health beliefs. We looked at the 8 glasses of water rule, the carrot eyesight connection, losing most heat through your head, knuckle cracking and arthritis, and whether eating before bed makes you fat. Each one had its own interesting backstory and scientific scrutiny, but remember I told you one of these was completely, totally false. A myth through and through. So, drumroll please. The completely fake health fact was myth number 3, that you lose 40 to 50% of your body heat through your head. While wearing a hat keeps you warm, your head isn't a disproportionate heat chimney. Heat loss is related to exposed surface area. Did you get it right? Which one did you suspect was the imposter? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious to see how many of you aced this health myth quiz. It just goes to show how easily misinformation can spread and become accepted truth. That's why it's so important to stay curious, ask questions, and look for evidence-based information when it comes to your health and well-being. Don't just take every piece of advice at face value, even if it sounds convincing or you've heard it a million times. If you enjoyed playing detective with me today, and learned something new, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future deep dives. And hey, why not share this video with a friend or family member, see if they can spot the fake health fact too. We've got a lot more myth-busting and health education coming your way. Thanks so much for watching, stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.